Thank you again.
I will.
Okay, I'll talk to you
Bye.
later. If you just
Take care.
tuned in, you're listening to KLEAN Radio. That's KLEAN with a K. We have tons of calls coming in. There's so much excitement in the studio. It's really, I know, because everybody wants to jump in, and I'm so happy that everybody is actually getting along tonight because, you know. And we're in the studio tonight with Eric Adams. Let's go to Ella from Philly. Ella, welcome to KLEAN Radio.
Hey, Ella.
Ella?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. What can we do for you?
So I was wondering, I have been on prescription pain pills that are prescribed from the doctor for almost 10 years now. And I'm just wondering, where do you draw the line from, I guess, an addiction? Like, how you know if you're, I mean, I guess after 10 years you're obviously addicted.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But where do you draw the line of when you need to get help for that?
That's that's an
great
amazing
question.
question. So basically, Ella, let's set this. You've been on prescription OxyContin, oxycodone
Yes,
For-
between that and methadone.
for well, it's for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
A very long time.
And obviously, you know you have a problem. Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm trying to figure out the balance.
Okay, there is no balance, and I hate to break your heart. I mean, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but you're on some serious stuff.
There's a physical addiction.
There's a physical.
Obviously, yeah.
There's a mental,
Emotional.
There is
Spiritual.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on
No,
some.
it's hardcore.
Ella, do you want to stop?
Yeah, I guess I worry there's about the pain. There's definitely, I have a back condition.
Okay. They have wonderful drugs today that aren't as, it's amazing. You know what's amazing about drugs is, and I'm going to let Erica get to a point in a second, but you know what's amazing about drugs is one of the drugs they help detox people with is a drug called Subutex. And what's amazing about that drug is not only is it helping people detox, it's also really used also for pain management. And it's, I'm not a doctor. I'm not I don't want to give you advice of something else to get on. But what I'm saying is, I don't want you to be. There's people, a lot of people out there are in pain and stay sober.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
So what are we going to do, Ella? About getting you help?
I don't know. I talked to the doctor about it, and she doesn't seem to think that it's a problem.
Well,
Okay, can
God,
I
you gotta
ask
change
you a really
doctors.
important question though? I just wanted for you to answer this. Really, what have been the consequences in your life for these past
It's a great
10 years?
question.
What are the consequences not only externally, like in your family with relationships, but internally in your own self? I mean, the despair you must feel to be scared to actually not have something in your hand to take every day. That's really not a really wonderful way to live in general. So that may cause you anxiety. That may lead to other physical problems and ailments. All this stuff is connected and interconnected. So I just want to ask you, what are the inner consequences really? And, what is it that you feel is wrong?
Well, it's definitely not, watching and anticipating that next time when you can take the pill is definitely...
Which is hell.
What?
Which is hellish.
Oh, yeah.
Ella, I have to tell you, I can totally understand where you're coming from with back problems. I had a huge ordeal with the fact that I needed to get sober, and I have a hairline fracture in my coccyx and cracked 4 vertebrae and slipped discs, and I was on medication for that, and I take non-narcotics. I took non-narcotics, and then I learned as I was sober to apply things like, stretching or yoga, and all that stuff comes later. But when you're questioning, like, how far is it and how much you're doing and what you're doing, I promise you can get through this.
I think Ella knows.
But I know that there's other ways that you can,
That's good for her to
deal
know that.
with. Yeah, and that I do understand where you're coming from on this.
Ella, I think
Some people don't know they have other options.
most
and
people
that's
don't
good to
know they have other options,
Right,
because
yeah.
doctors, sadly,
Because doctors play
aren't checking the
Or
other,
saying she doesn't have a problem,
right,
like
which
Right.
is absolutely any doctor. I hate to tell you this.
He
that-
normalizes it
yeah.
for her, and that's
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Any
validates
doctor
it.
that
Validates
after
it,
hearing
yeah.
your story, any doctor that says you don't have a problem probably has a problem.
yeah. I mean,
himself.
I'm so sorry you
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
that doctor. Get a new
But
one.
Ella, here's the
Yeah.
thing: do you want to get help?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any sort of insurance?
Yeah, it's not great insurance stuff.
That's okay. I'm going to tell you what. At KLEAN Treatment Center, we try to give as much as we could give away. When we try to, we have this contest where we are giving away a bed a month since
September until next
Thank
September.
you till next September for
That's
National
amazing.
Recovery Month.
Amazing.
So great.
And I beg of you to please go to, if you stay on the line. Our producer's going to talk to you. It's no pressure. You don't have to say your full name or anything like that. Go to our site. We'll see if we could get you in. Okay? Because I want to get you in as soon as if you want it, we want to get you help.
Okay.
And are you going to do that? I promise you don't have to give any information out that you don't want to.
Okay.
Okay?
Hang in there, honey.
Hang in there. And anything we could do for you, please let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Okay,
luck,
Ella.
sweetie.
Have a good night.
Bye, good
sweetie.
luck.
Oh.
I know.
It does. It breaks your heart.
It probably breaks your heart because you've gone through some of that pain,
And when
I mean,
she's on
physical pain.
Yeah, I have gone through that, but on it for 10 years. Like,
Wow, yeah,
I mean,
I think the worst is, and I think Eric's sober 90 days tonight at midnight. I'm pretty sure you'll get it tonight.
Yeah, I'll make it.
If you don't,
I hope
I'm going to
so.
be
We'll hang
very.
out with
I
you
will
till
Yeah.
let you
We'll do
down.
it. They used to do that
Embarrassed.
in New York. They used to have year watches. So
Yeah.
when you were coming up on a year, they would watch
heard
you
of
for
it.
like the 24 hours beforehand. It was great. You'd have a lot of fun. But I think the biggest thing, the hell that she's talking about, is they say that you used to live to use and use to live, is that, all your hours are focused on when are you going to use
Oh, yeah.
next. How free do you feel right now?
I feel so free.
Yeah.
So free. Like 6 months ago, I didn't feel like this, but now I can't believe the way I feel. Like my mind don't race. They don't lie when they say it gets better.
Yeah.
It
That's
gets
true.
better.
He's
And
so
I was
different.
a wreck. I was really a wreck.
Yeah.
And
I believe you.
I wake up with a smile on my face. I make my bed.
Good for
I go out with my
you.
friends. I have friends today.
Aren't those, people are always looking, and I always am constantly saying this to people, when they're saying, I'm looking for a spiritual experience or a spiritual awakening. I'm like,
That's it.
filling up my tank with gas is a spiritual experience, because when I was drinking, I'd put $1.37 and pray I got home.
Yeah.
And literally that was what it came down to, and was hell.
But what Eric's saying is really, it's really, you have so much energy now,
Yeah.
free time, and you have all this space in your head to think about other things, and it leads to other things instead of always watching the clock and what time
Yeah.
when is the who's
Now
calling me
watching
back
the
and
clock.
Is he gonna
Oh.
watching the clock.
You
Is
know
he
what
gonna
I have
pick
to
up?
say? I'm a witness to seeing him from his day one, 6 months ago,
That's amazing.
to right now, and like his eyes are lit up.
That's awesome.
Like that's why we
Healthy
do what
lit
we
up.
do.
And
Yeah.
and let's take
true.
one last call, because we are running out of time. We'll make it a quick one. We got Christian calling from Chicago. Christian, what's cooking?
Hey,
What's up,
Christian.
Christian?
Hey, how are you
Christian.
tonight? This
Good.
is-
How are you? Welcome to KLEAN Radio.
Hey, thank you very much. Very, very interesting show. I think you're probably one of the only of your kind, or maybe the only.
I get told that quite often, but it's not about the show. It's just,
In person.
Just in the interest of full disclosure, I guess that's a part of the ethic involved. Admittedly, I am an addict. I come from an addicted family. It's certainly genetics. I'm also a proponent for legalization. I wanted to find out from you guys how you felt about the legalization issue, and certainly how it affects normal society and the way crime, violence.
well, I mean,
Whether or not it would help sobriety.
Christian, that's a great question. We're not a political show, and it's a very political question. And I don't think all I'll say is, the war on drugs really hasn't gone too well.
No.
I mean, it's a war we've been fighting for a long time. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I was in Canada, just to give you a story. I grew up in Manhattan, and I grew up, going, I'd go to the Manhattan or Brooklyn. I grew up, but I would go to Manhattan, and you're from Southie, and you go to you'd go to these streets, and you'd see people using. You'd see people Alphabet City, and it was the worst. But it was like they weren't making the street nice, and then people using upstairs.
Right.
You knew you were on a crappy street.
Yeah.
and you saw the real hell that was going on. But take that to when I was in Vancouver, and in Vancouver they have the
Methadone clinics,
the methadone and the heroin clinics, where people are literally shooting up with nurses around them.
They're getting clean needles now.
Clean
They're
needles.
providing them all that. Yeah.
Now
It's called harm reduction.
It's called harm reduction. Now I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything, but I knew I was more depressed going down that street, knowing that there were people dying upstairs.
Very true.
Than I was in Manhattan when at least I saw it.
Very true.
And there was no denial about it. I wasn't like, and so if that helps answer that question a little bit, Christian, I don't know if it did, but
I plead the fifth.
It would seem, I mean, to me, I guess I'm somewhat of a libertarian, and certainly we all have our eye on what would stimulate in our economy in these times. That's the major question.
Drugs.
But it seems like it's rather depressing, yes, but
well, medicinally, I'm sure it could help. Some people, but
I mean, Christian, I think the question you're asking is a great one. I don't think any of us are,
I'm not going to
really
I
need to or
plead the
want
fifth
to,
on
but it
yeah.
is a great question. And how long have you been sober?
Honestly, off and on. My biggest drug of choice was marijuana.
Yeah.
Got me. It's both positive and negative with it. It got me out of atheism, but then again, it got a physical habit formed.
Yeah, and you know why that is? Because it's 40% more potent than it was in the 60s. I mean, marijuana is, people like to, but it's a very serious.
People don't think.
Yeah,
people don't realize
just
the
bypass
potency
it.
of
It's
it.
not a big deal.
Yeah.
It is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
I treat people all the time that come in for treatment for just marijuana addiction.
Christian, I'll tell you what. You got an offer tonight. Are you interested in maybe getting off it for good?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of incentive to staying off of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Email ericaspiegelman.com. Do you have an email up there?
Yes, of course.
ericaspiegelman.com. Go to that. Erica Spiegelman. It's probably spelt the correct Spiegelman way. Yeah, go ahead.
Spiegelman.
And email her, please. And obviously, you've specialized in this stuff.
Yeah. I could definitely give you some direction or give you some help in some way.
But we're running out of time. Christian, give us a call back next week. I want to know that you got in touch with her if you can. I would love to hear that.
Hang in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody. We have had an awesome show tonight. Just one of my, every week it gets more fun.
Yeah.
And it gets funner. And to you English
this was
people.
quick.
Yeah, it's the quickest hour
That
of
went
addiction in
fast.
America.
Like a quickie.
Well,
This was great.
yeah, that's what happens when you're having you're going to come
That's
back.
what a good quickie.
Eric, Eric, you're just a cool dude.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, it's
You
been
are,
an
you know
honor
what?
meeting
And
you.
I'm being serious. You're just. I'm not going to give you any advice. I hate when people do that. Just
Preach.
And everyone watch Rehab to finish
everybody
watching
watch
his
Rehab
life.
to see what happens to Eric.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Tune in.
I mean, not to
Sundays.
reveal too much, but Eric.
Yeah.
But he's doing good today.
Next
Not
week,
in trouble.
Eric on Rehab falls in love. Tune in to Rehab, starring Eric.
Sundays, Vh1,
Yes.
8 p.m.
And Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez. And I want to
you,
thank
Judah.
Erica Spiegelman.
Thank
Yes,
you
thank
guys.
you.
EricaSpiegelman.com.
Thank you
And
both.
you write blog. You're an insanely talented ab-fab type of girl.
And,
And,
love you.
I love you too.
Love you, love
to
you
everybody
both.
out there
Thank
that's
you. Thank you,
struggling,
everybody.
the discussion continues at KLEANRadio.com. Till next week.
Yay.
Are you struggling with an addiction that's ruining your life? Want to have a confidential conversation with a professional that will immediately assist you? Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs and would like a free drug testing kit and consultation? KLEAN Treatment Center is standing by right now to help those with addictions and the people who care about them. Call 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. Or go to KLEAN Treatment Center, that's clean with a K, cleantreatmentcenter.com.